The rain came down in torrents, turning the dusty plains of Rosebend into a sea of mud and chaos. Horses neighed in fright, wagons tilted and sank in the softening ground, and the usually calm river that curved along the edge of town had turned into a roaring monster. Micah Granger pulled his hat low as he guided his mare along the washed-out trail. The storm had surprised everyone. He'd come to town for salt and seed, but left with a warning that a mail-order wedding party had passed through just ahead of the storm. He hadn't planned on getting involved, until he saw the broken wagon half-submerged at the riverbank, and the woman beside it. She sat in the mud like a broken bird, her white wedding dress stained brown, one boot missing, hair tangled from the wind. Her hands gripped her knees, her eyes unfocused, as if she was still trying to outrun the memory of what had just happened. Micah slowed his horse and dismounted. "You hurt?" he called over the roar of the rain. Her head jerked up, and for a split second, fear twisted her face. "I'm not going back with them," she said quickly. "I'd rather drown." Micah blinked, taken aback by the intensity in her voice. "I'm not with anyone," he said gently. "Just saw you sitting here and figured you could use help." She didn't move. "Who are you?" "Name's Micah Granger. Got a ranch north of here." She studied him like she was trying to judge his soul. "I'm Clara Whitmore. Or I was supposed to be Clara Benson, married by sundown. Guess the flood had other plans." Micah looked at the wagon. It had been swept partially into the river. No sign of horses. No sign of the groom. "I take it the marriage didn't go as planned?" he asked softly. Clara gave a hollow laugh. "He was drunk. Said I wasn't what he ordered. Left me here when the flood rose. Took the rest of the wagon train with him. Said I'd slow him down." Micah clenched his jaw. "Well, that man's a fool." Clara's eyes finally met his. For a second, he saw all her strength behind the exhaustion. "Do you leave women behind in floods, Mr. Granger?" "No, I don't." Chapter 2, Shelter and Shadows. Micah wrapped her in his duster and helped her onto the saddle. He could feel the tremble in her bones as they rode through the storm. Back at his cabin, nestled against a rocky outcrop above the floodplain, he set her by the fire, fetched water, dry clothes, and gave her space. For hours she said nothing. But that night, as thunder rolled and the roof creaked, she finally spoke. "I spent all I had to get here. I don't have a home to go back to. My parents died last winter, and my aunt only took me in to marry me off. I thought I could find someone who'd want me. Turns out, he just wanted someone prettier." Micah sat across from her, boots off, drying by the hearth. "You deserve better than a man who'd leave you to die." Clara's eyes shimmered. "I'm not sure I deserve anything anymore." Micah leaned forward. "You deserve warmth, respect, a partner who sees your worth, even if it takes a flood to wash away the wrong path." She laughed softly. "That sounds like something out of a dime novel." Sometimes the truth sounds that way. Chapter 3, The Days Between. In the days that followed, Clara helped around the ranch. She mended clothes, cooked hearty meals, and even tried her hand at wrangling the goats Micah kept. Her laughter began to return, first hesitant, then open and joyful. Micah found himself watching her too often, admiring the way she squinted in the sun, the quiet strength in her hands, and the sadness that never fully left her eyes. One evening, she stood by the porch as the sun dipped below the hills, painting the sky in fire. "You don't talk about yourself much," she said. Micah leaned against the post beside her. "Ain't much to tell. Raised cattle, lost my folks to fever years back. Been living quiet ever since. Town folks say I keep to myself too much." Clara gave a knowing smile. "Maybe you're just waiting for the right reason not to." He glanced at her. "Maybe I am." Chapter 4, Danger Rides In. Just as spring sun began to dry the land, danger returned. Clara was in the garden patch behind the barn when she saw the three riders. Dusty, mean-looking men with weathered hats and cold eyes. One of them smirked when he saw her and spat into the date. "Evening, miss. That your man around?" Clara stood tall. "His nearby." "Good," said the leader. "He owes someone a favor." She bolted toward the cabin, heart pounding. Micah met her halfway, shotgun in hand. "They're looking for trouble," she whispered. He nodded grimly. "They always are." The riders dismounted. "Granger," the leader barked. "Heard you been harboring a runaway bride. That true?" Micah stood still. "She's under my roof. That makes her under my protection." Another man sneered. "Her fiancé says she ran off with your gold." "She didn't take a damn thing. But I'll tell you what she got, left behind in a flood while he ran like a coward." The man lunged forward. Micah cocked the shotgun. "You want to test your luck. Be my guest." For a long, tense moment, no one moved. Then the leader smirked. "Ain't worth the shot, but she'll be wanted in town for breach of contract." Micah narrowed his eyes. "I'll go with her and speak with the sheriff myself." The men backed off, but not before one of them spat near Clara's feet. Chapter 5. What the Heart Chooses. Micah rode into town with Clara the next morning, shoulders taut, shotgun slung behind him. The sheriff, a reasonable man named Wallace, heard their story. When Clara finished, voice quivering, Sheriff Wallace sighed and took off his hat. "That man you were supposed to marry, Turner, is known for stirring up trouble. I'll make sure his word don't carry water. You're free." Clara felt tears prick her eyes, but this time from relief. As they rode back, the silence between her and Micah felt different. Not tense, but full of unspoken things. At the ranch gate, she turned to him. "You could have walked away. Let them take me." "I don't do that." She nodded. "Why?" Micah dismounted slowly, then looked up at her. "Because somewhere between the flood and that firelight night, you stopped being a stranger to me." Clara blinked, unsure if she heard right. "I know it soon," he said, taking off his hat. "But I've seen what life with you looks like, and it's the first time this ranch has felt like a home in years." She swallowed, heart fluttering. "I came here hoping to marry a man who'd give me safety. I never dreamed I'd find someone who made me feel like I belonged." Micah stepped closer. "Then maybe we give each other a second chance at the beginning." Clara reached for his hand, and under the warming sun of Rosebend, with the mud drying at their boots, they held on. Epilogue, Refuge and Roots. Months later, the ranch had changed. The flower beds bloomed near the porch. Laughter echoed from inside as Clara stirred supper, her hands no longer trembling. A new wedding dress hung near the hearth. Not white, but a soft lavender she'd chosen herself. Micah stepped inside, dusty from the field, and kissed her cheek. Fences fixed. Goats didn't escape this time. She smiled. "That's progress." He held her for a moment, quietly. Then he whispered, "Didn't think a flood would bring me everything I never knew I needed." Clara leaned against his chest. "It didn't just bring us together," she said. "It washed away everything that was holding us back."